Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, today I was on Facebook and I came across an interesting article about this white woman who's running to be mayor of Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, this woman's name is Kimberly Paige Barnette, and she posted the following on her Facebook page. It said, "Vote for Kimberly Paige Barnette, Mayor of Charlotte, 2017. She went on to describe herself as Republican and smart, white, traditional. Now, this has created some controversy for obvious reasons. First of all, it's an open and direct appeal to race and racism in a southern city. It's obvious. First of all, being white is no special qualification for office. But yet she felt the need to bring attention to that in what essentially was a political ad. And the thing that makes this odd is the fact that she is running against other white candidates for mayor of this city. So her whiteness is not some kind of unique qualification. There are other white people running for the office. But what this is an appeal to racist people who want somebody that's going to represent the interests of other racist people, other white races. And by saying that she's white, she's basically telling them that she is their candidate. That's what she's doing. And this is just another reminder of the times in which we live. There was a time when being a racist was something that was viewed as negative. There was a time when there was shame in being called a racist or being considered a racist. But nowadays, it seems like what is happening now is that people are becoming more and more emboldened. They are no longer containing their racism, and they are openly expressing it. And it seems that this has become more the case after the election of Donald Trump, a man who openly campaigned on xenophobia, openly campaigned in such a way that he would appeal to white supremacist groups. And you've had example after example of racist white people basically saying now Trump is president of the country, and then they would go on to make all these racist statements about black people and other so-called minorities. We've seen video after video of this happening because these people feel emboldened because one of their own has been elected to be president of the United States. One of their own fellow races has been elected. We saw the reaction from the white so-called nationalists after Donald Trump was elected. They held a convention, and during that convention, they were so happy that Donald Trump was elected president that they saluted that election using the Nazi salute. So these are the times in which we live. It's just a shame that we are living in an environment where this is now the new normal, where things like this are no longer some kind of oddity, where we hear about this stuff regularly. We heard about what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia, where you had white supremacists openly protesting back in the day, back during the Jim Crow era. Even then, those races had some sense of shame. They covered their faces, but now they openly parade around, not masking their racism at all. And this is just yet another example of this. Another point that I need to make is this. Race is not some qualifying factor for public office. The mere fact that somebody is of a particular race is not determinative of what kind of positions they're going to take on the issues. Somebody can be black and not represent the black community, not be concerned about the plight of the black community, and somebody can be white and not be concerned about the plight of the average, everyday, working white person. And the prime example of that is somebody like a Donald Trump. This man supports policies that are contrary to the interests of the poor and working class white fools that voted for him. He represents the 1%. He is concerned with the 1%'s interests, not with the interests of the masses of American people in general and white working class people in particular. But they're going to be in for a rude awakening soon enough. So that's one thing. And then This woman tried to say, well, she was basically just describing herself, and then she tried to draw an analogy between the Congressional Black Caucus, referring to themselves in such terms, and her describing herself as white. First of all, none of the Congressional Black Caucus members are running based on the fact that they are black. They're not saying, well, their blackness is what qualifies them for office. None of them are running that way. And the CBC is not about promoting, this concept that somehow blackness is a special qualification for office. What they are about is protecting the interests of African Americans, a group of people who were enslaved in this country, a group of people who have been marginalized in this country, a group of people who have been discriminated against for decades. And that group of people have every right and every reason to lobby in support of their interests. So, I think it's a false analogy. It's a false equivalency. It's a weak argument. And it's a complete deflection from the core issue. And that issue is this white woman campaigning based on racism. And I'll just conclude with this point. This woman who directly appeals to races is not fit to serve as mayor of Charlotte or any other place, because a mayor is supposed to represent the interests of all of the citizens in that particular city. They're not supposed to just represent white people or just represent black people or just represent any particular race of people. They're supposed to represent all people. And this woman is unfit to be mayor of Charlotte, and I hope that the people vote against her. If the reports are correct, this woman is a marginal candidate anyway who has no chance of winning, and I hope that those reports are correct. So tell me what you think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. And before I go, I just want to let you all know that tonight I'm probably going to do a Google Hangout. It'll probably be around 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And during that hangout, I'm going to respond to my critics. So look out for that video, that hangout. I hope you can join, and I will be responding to your comments as they come through in the chat room. Peace.